Alrighty, welcome back to Weenie Trades. We had a really interesting Thirsty Thursday. It was a really focused day trading. We were slightly red on the swing tradings, but overall net we were still managed to close out a little bit over $500 if we count all accounts, including the Webull and stuff like that. But like I always say, the P&L doesn't matter as much as the entries and exits. So in today's video, we're going to talk about why one good trade / one good setup may be all it takes. And we really wanted to focus on FSLY. FSLY was getting upgraded. My only thing that I didn't like about FSLY was that it was extended on the daily chart. From the lows, we're up 24%. But I figured in this market, extended doesn't really have that much weight as it used to a few years ago back in trading. So we're focusing on FSLY. And FSLY upgraded, extended on the daily. And we had a lot of trades on it today. But, we eventually prevailed. So we started off the day in tight consolidation, and right here we had a nice good double bottom off the lows and a nice good rally. Right here we put in a nice good bull flag pattern with higher lows. So I went ahead and went long FSLY just over, I believe it was 103.50, looking for a move just up to about 105.50 / 106, maybe as high as 108. If we could get the breakout of 108, we'd expect 110 and 113. So those are my upper targets that I'm thinking about when I'm long from 103. I'm thinking $10 higher. Boom, we get this nice good push up, then a pull down, and we held the higher low at this important support of 103, which comes from the daily chart. That's all the way back over here, this big pivot, and a little bit of resistance over here, resistance over here. So 103 is kind of just an important daily pivot to stay above, and we held 103. And as we started to come back up, I went ahead and added to FSLY over 103.75. Boom, just almost broke out, but we did not break out. See how we kind of did a lower high pivot. So this high was lower than this previous high. And so that it's kind of a double top, lower high resistance, whatever you want to call it. Buyers didn't follow through, and I don't want to be in this when buyers don't follow through. Boom, I stopped out a one contract just underneath 102.65. That's a 1 point stop out. I'm using pretty volatile contracts. Then boom, just underneath 102, I stopped out of the second contract. So FSLY, first off, was actually minus $300 to start the day off. However, we were able to catch a later breakout on it. I'd stuck with the stock. I wanted to see if it could get follow through. And boy, am I glad I stuck with the stock. So lower high, higher low, lower high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Okay, we might be getting a trend change. I said at Weenie Trades Live, I'm looking for the volume increase. So boom, we got this nice, good increase in volume. That's what I was exactly looking for. And this was my time. This time I was going to size up on FSLY and use a nice tight stop underneath 103. Boom, I go long again at 103.60. I add over 104. My stop is just underneath 102.79. I add again over 104.50 over the high of the day. So I get really good size as we get this nice good push. And that's what's able to give me a nice good green day, a nice good profitable trade. Boom, I start peeling profits at 105.50. I peel another contract off at 106, and then I held the last contract through break even. We had this nice pull back to the initial morning high area, and we pulled back to that. We held it as support, and we started to push up. And then this resistance, 106.70, comes from the daily chart. We're struggling just a little bit. Wick right there. Top of the supply zone right over here. So 106.20 is kind of a tough little area. And so that's where I took off my last contract, pretty much near the high of the day. We did have some other trades on it, but stop out firstly was minus $300, but later we made $350 on Webull. We made $170 extra on Thinkorswim, $160, another $57. So all over the place on FSLY, but net, really good trade and really positive. We were able to make some free trades. And even then, the P&L is crazy. We got a lot of spreads going on here, but we were able to buy the 108 call for $191, then sell the 109 call for $181. Boom, our risk is only $10. We're risking $10 to make $100 if FSLY can close above 109. We have the 110 / 112 call debit spread. That's down slightly. Our total risk in that is only about $30. And then we have some later debit spreads, 125, 130. And we have the 135, 140. We were able to make that almost free, buying it for 72, selling the next strike out. That's 5 strikes away for 66. So our total risk is only 4 + 2, $6 of risk to make $500. So tons of small risk trades to make massive profit and loss. So my risk adjusted return is super high on FSLY, We had some shares, you know, we bought the dip at 103.40, sold it at the former break down area, right about 104.60. That's for an extra $40. We left 10 shares on just to let it ride. So one good trade and one good setup, really creating all the P&L. I was definitely getting a little bit nervous on FSLI when we had the left shoulder, we have the head, spike of resistance, then the lower high, inability to break resistance, kind of a little bear flag type deal, and then the breakdown underneath support. So lots of technical setups on FSLI. Still a little bit choppy, definitely on the day because it is so extended, but targeting something about the 110 area later this week, maybe next week, and then targeting 113, maybe as high as 116, maybe even a quote-unquote gap fill at about 120. It's more so that 120 is going to be psychological resistance. So FSLY definitely paid the bills today. Super fun, super good trade. Really fun day. Getting ready for Friday, and I'm going to size down a little bit more. Definitely don't need to be doing too many next day or same day contracts like we did today. Don't want to have any heart attacks while we're trading, and to keep the risk a little bit small. So we'll be ready for next week, and let's get ready to trade some more. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Be sure to ask any questions. Sometimes I cover things that some people do understand. Sometimes I cover things that people don't understand. Everybody's at a different level. Be sure you understand, because when you understand the power of options, you can really risk a little to make a lot. As you can see, sometimes the P&L on some of the spreads might wiggle out some of your profits. It might show a little bit of craziness. So like, for example, this shouldn't be minus 1,786. It really should be, since it's out of the money, it's closer to the money, my 93.50 strike. There's a lot of crazy stuff that goes on in options land. Be sure to message me about it. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. See ya.